Hello, I'm Shelli Stephens-Stidham with the Safe States Alliance, and welcome to this module of IVP 360 on the core competencies for injury and violence prevention. Though passion and interest in injury and violence prevention are important, that shouldn't be the only criteria for hiring and assigning staff to work in the field. Competency is important regardless of the location where you practice, whether it's a state or local health department, a hospital or a trauma center, research center, a federal agency, or a nonprofit association. The public health approach to injury and violence prevention is interdisciplinary, and it includes a wide variety of professionals focusing on unintentional and intentional injury and unknown mechanisms of injury. Therefore, it requires a variety of skills and expertise. The core competencies for injury and violence prevention were developed by the National Training Initiative to create a common understanding of the essential skills and knowledge necessary to excel as injury prevention professionals, with the purpose of identifying future training needed to strengthen the field of injury and violence prevention. The National Training Initiative included members representing the Safe States Alliance, the Society for the Advancement of Violence and Injury Research, Indian Health Service, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Education Development Center, and the Maternal and Child Health Bureau. The core competencies for injury and violence prevention provide a basis for workforce development and can provide benchmarks against which to assess progress and professional capacity. There are 9 core competencies, and they address how injury and violence prevention compare to other health issues, the collection, analysis, and reporting of data, the design and implementation of prevention activities, evaluation, program management, communication, stimulating change, and continuing education. Each of the 9 core competencies include learning objectives associated with that competency. The competencies are overarching and are applicable across all mechanisms of injury and violence. And as you can see, only one of the competencies, competency number 9, addresses competency in a specific area of injury and violence. It is not expected that any individual should be an expert in all 9 of the competencies to effectively carry out his or her job. In fact, adopting a public health approach to injury and violence prevention requires a broad set of competencies across multiple partners that are complementary to one another. Individuals should strive to be competent in the blend of skills that is required to best serve injury and violence prevention programs in their specific settings and role. The combined and collective competency of core staff and community partners should ideally result in overall organizational and community competency. Additionally, different positions will require different proficiency levels and have a stronger focus on certain competencies and learning objectives. A senior manager would need to be competent in areas not required of a health educator or a child passenger safety technician. For example, one person in the injury program might need to be competent in competencies 1, 2, 4, and 7, while another staff person might be competent in 3, 5, and 6, and one or more of the community partners might be competent in 8 or 9. Proficiency in any of the competencies is best acquired through multiple means. Training alone may not be sufficient to achieve competency. Additional work experience that complements training may be necessary, and organizations should support their staff as they continue to grow and develop skills across these competencies. A list of the core competencies for injury and violence prevention and the associated learning objectives for each competency are listed on the Safe States website. For a demonstration on how to access the core competencies on our website, please watch the module on tools and resources in this IVP 360. It provides additional information about the core competencies and a proficiency level assessment tool to assist in determining competency both for individuals and organizations. You will also find a mapping tool that illustrates how the core competencies for injury and violence prevention compare and relate to the standard skill set in the core competencies for public health professionals. While all workforce development should be competency-based, there is no expectation that a single uniform curriculum is necessary to accomplish this goal. Each training opportunity is unique, and the curriculum should be matched to the needs of the audience. Injury and violence prevention professionals have the benefit of a multitude of training options, both virtual and in person. We have listed some of these training options in our resource section, but please remember that this list is only a sample of the great training options available to you. You can also check out the Safe States Training Center. All of the trainings housed in the training center have been mapped to the core competencies so you can tailor your search to best meet your training needs. If you aren't sure on which competencies to focus, consider checking out the self-assessment in the Training Center's Orientation Toolkit. It can provide insight into your areas of strength, as well as areas where growth is needed. It will also suggest trainings based on your responses. We hope that this information about the core competencies for injury and violence prevention is helpful in assisting you in building individual and organizational competency as an injury prevention professional.